Greetings, everybody. So, I'm probably gonna get lynched for this, but I'm gonna make this is a video about 10 unpopular opinions in heavy metal that I have. So, let's get right into it, shall we? And this is not going to be very professionally made or anything because you know me by now. Okay, so first off, and these are in no particular order, but Motorhead never made a bad album, they just made releases that were weak for Motorhead, and I'm going to adjust that camera just ever so slightly. But yeah, they never really made a bad album, they just made weak Motorhead releases. Fight me. Number 9. Slayer isn't as amazing as everybody likes to think they are. I know this, the little particular circle I'm a part of, Patrick, Wyatt, Sean Canyon, Charlie Pettifer, I know that that's not exactly an unpopular opinion, but dear God, the groups I'm in on Facebook, I still see shit like that. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, number 8. Death is good, but overrated to shit. Now, obviously, if you couldn't tell, you probably can't even freaking see, because the webcam quality is so damn terrible. But I'm a Death fan. I like pretty much literally all of their albums, otherwise I wouldn't own them. But my God, Chuck Schuldiner was not a god. He's him along with Possessed are the founders of death metal. But it's so death fans just overhype it so freaking much. And then Relapse Records milking the shit out of Death years and years after Chuck's death. It's ridiculous. I'm so sick of it. I'm tired. I'm just am. Anyway, number 7. People may disagree with this, but grunge is not metal, and neither is AC/DC. I know people like Cover Killer Nation say that AC/DC is metal, but it's just, no, they're not. Grunge is also not metal, despite people liking to think that it is, or part of like a metal subgenre. And in my opinion, good 70% of grunge is trash anyway. The 90s pretty much, the 90s kind of sucked. I mean, I was born in 97, so that should be example enough of why the 90s sucked. For music anyway. Anyway, number 6. Black metal is an amazing genre. If you couldn't tell by my extensive collection of black metal and extreme metal releases, but it's not a fucking religion. I see, again, more groups on Facebook I'm a part of. It's like, oh, you have to adhere to this particular rule. You can't listen to any bands like Dimmu Borgir. You can't listen to any bands like fucking like Mayhem's newest releases. Only De Mysteriis Dom Satanas is good. That's the only one you're allowed to listen to. And Death Crush. Can't forget about Death Crush. And Dark Throne. And you can only listen to the Unholy Trilogy of Dark Throne. Forget Soulside Journey. Forget anything they did after that. It's like you can only listen to the Unholy Trinity. That's it. If you do, you're not true enough. That's stupid, and you're stupid for thinking that if you do. Let anybody who wants to get into black metal get into black metal. If they look like a poser, then so be it. For God's sake, I see so many friggin' people on these like forums being like, you can't listen to this band, you can't listen to this band. If you listen to this band, you're a poser. You need to get out of the scene. Christ on a bike. I mean, look. I'm wearing a Revenge shirt. They're war metal, black and death metal, whatever you want to call them. But at the same time, I've got burps. At the same time, I've got All Shall Perish and the new frickin' Whitechapel album. Black metal is not a religion. You're allowed to like other things. You're allowed to like whatever freaking bands you want, and you can still stay in the black metal scene. God. Okay, 5. Metalcore is actually good. Fight me. Just, I mean, metalcore is good. Metalcore is the reason I'm into metal. I mean, I was, for like the first 3 or 4 years of my life, I was raised on Disturbed and Iron Maiden, you know, Iron Maiden being classic, Disturbed being posers, which, I mean, their new album was absolute garbage, but that's besides the point. But I was raised on classics, you know? I was, for the least, the last, first 3 or 4 years of my life, and then my parents, whenever they got saved and got into Christianity, they burned everything, all their CDs. My dad burned a bunch of records that, to this day, are probably pretty damn valuable. Like, legit, like, vinyl, not just CDs. He owned pretty much every release from Iron Maiden. But he introduced me to Demon Hunter. And for the longest time, Demon Hunter was my favorite band. They're what kept me into metal. And then I listened to Haste the Day, I listened to As I Lay Dying, Christian metalcore, Fight Me. But I still have them in my collection. I still love Demon Hunter. Fight Me. I still love Haste the Day. New album wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it's still pretty damn good. I still love As I Lay Dying, and no, I don't give a shit about what Tim Lambesis did. What he did was fucked up. Nobody's denying that. But it's actually good, and it could be a good thing for the genre, because it can get more people into the genre, you know? It can get more people in. It can either be their gateway into heavier stuff. I mean, for instance, my friend Evan, he's into metal because of, like, Asking Alexandria, Korn, Avenged Sevenfold. So, and Avenged Sevenfold, I obviously love Avenged Sevenfold. They're another one of the big reasons why I'm still into metal, is because once I kind of broke away from only listening to Christian metal, I got, like, Avenged Sevenfold was like my first band that was non-Christian and metalcore that I still listen to, and it helped me transition into the monster I am before you. And again, my friend Evan is into it because of Asking Alexandria, Korn. He likes Limp Bizkit. I'm just not gonna say anything and just let that lie. But then he's into deathcore too. He likes Infinite Annihilator, Oceano, Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, A Night in Texas, I believe, and Carnifex. Did I already say Carnifex? Whatever. And now he's getting into Cannibal Corpse. I've introduced him to Behemoth. So metalcore can be a gateway and can be a very good thing for the genre, getting more people into the bands, getting more support to the bands, you know, to the more underground level of the scene. And number 4, deathcore in some respects is better than death metal, because to this day, I kind of fall in Sean's boat of I listen to deathcore more than I will. Pardon me, my God. I listen to deathcore more than I listen to death metal. And I love death metal. I do. It's still a listen-worthy genre. I can't freaking articulate. It's like, it's midnight. Leave me alone. I just got off of work like an hour and a half ago. Anyway, it's a genre that still has a lot to offer. There's so many good bands, so many underground bands too. They're just doing great things with it. But at the same time, in my opinion, anyway, I tend to like deathcore more than I like just flat out death metal. And again, I have an Aborted Flag. I have Carcass Flag. I have Opeth. That's about it for flags, actually. Now I look stupid. And Living Sacrifice, Christian death metal. I still love death metal, I really do. But I tend to come more towards deathcore more often than I do death metal. Number 3, and this one is kind of directed at Rob Zombie, a comment that he made, and I see a few people sharing this opinion, though not too many. Black Sabbath did not do everything in the metal genre there was to do before other bands came out with their first albums. And if you know what I'm talking about, I believe it was in Metal: A Headbanger's Journey, where it might have been like the Shock Rock episode, or it might have been the movie, I don't know. But I think it was basically, it was in one of the Sam Dunn series where Rob Zombie essentially said, every good riff there's ever been to write in metal, Black Sabbath's already done it. Whether people are just playing it faster, slower, backwards, like they've already done it. That's bullshit. In case you forgot, Judas Priest, Motorhead, they were a thing in the 70s too. You're telling me that in Black Sabbath's 5 years of existence, which, although, I mean, Rock-a-Rolla is like 60s hard rock, so I guess that doesn't really count too much. But you're telling me that Judas Priest and Motorhead, if I remember correctly, Motorhead's first release was in 75, and then Sad Wings of Destiny from Judas Priest, I think, was like 76. It's been a while since I brushed up on that, but forgive me. But anyway, you're telling me in the 5 years of Black Sabbath's existence, they wrote every riff there was to ever be had. Like no other band has created anything original. You're telling me that the riffs that Tony Iommi can create, which Tony Iommi is Tony Iommi. He's essentially he's pretty much the bedrock of metal. Black Sabbath, first album in the doom and heavy metal genre, period. I love Black Sabbath, I really do. But you're telling me that in the 5 years of them existing, there are other bands that, yeah, okay, there are bands that didn't write the same, that haven't written different riffs that Black Sabbath hasn't done. You're telling me that the riff to Oceano's District of Misery or Dead Planet is the same as something off of Never Say Die or Paranoid or Volume 4 or Sabbath Bloody Sabbath or Carnifex, Die Without Hope, that riff is stolen somehow from Tony Iommi. And pardon me if I'm taking this too seriously. I understand it was just kind of it was like oh yeah, they've done pretty much everything good there is to do. I understand it was kind of a stupid comment and just sassy, just said just for the sake of saying it. But my God, it struck a fire in me that just made me so damn angry, and I see people agreeing with him. Not too many, but some people. But yeah, okay. But yeah, Motorhead's first album, 75. Oh, moving on to number 2. That one took a little bit longer than it should have. Nu metal isn't that bad. In fact, I'd argue it's actually a good thing for the genre. Just like metalcore, just like deathcore. Call me a poser all you want, but another reason that it's good is, again, it can kind of be the gateway. It can kind of keep people listening to metal. I mean, somebody might listen to Limp Bizkit and Korn, Rage Against the Machine, and decide, hey, you know what, I like this, but I don't really like the more heavier, faster stuff. I don't really like much that isn't Limp Bizkit, Korn, Rage Against the Machine, blah, blah, blah. King 810, da, 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 da. I mean, that's kind of my manager. One of my managers at work. He likes Limp Bizkit, he likes Korn. Those are his 2 favorite bands. Yeah. And you're telling me that's a bad thing? Really? It can keep they're still supporting the artist, and it can kind of be an introduction and a gateway to metal, to the more underground shit. Again, my friend Evan as an example, he likes Limp Bizkit and Korn. And then Asking Alexandria and As I Lay Dying and Avenged Sevenfold, those were his gateways into the more underground and heavier shit. So it's not that bad. It's a good thing, I'd argue, for the genre, you know? And here's number one. And again, the people in the little circle that I'm a part of usually tend to agree with me, but my god, Venom did not create black metal. They didn't. They coined the term. They coined a lot of what the ideology is about. They kind of coined the attitude, I guess. But that's it. The album Black Metal at War with Satan is not black metal. And the thing is that unlike the circle I'm a part of, I actually do enjoy Venom to a degree. I don't worship them or anything, but I like Venom. But they did not create fucking black metal. They didn't. They, again, coined the term. That's pretty much it. The other things I said were just extensions. They just coined the term. They did not create black metal. Their albums aren't black metal, never have been. Again, excuse me. And unless they decide to actually make a black metal album, they won't be, ever. And I hear you typing away. Oh, but back when black metal was released, there was no staple for what it's supposed to sound like. Therefore, it makes it black metal. That does not make it black metal. It doesn't. Just because somebody coined the term and there was no staple before that does not make that black metal. Black metal started with Bathory, the self-titled EP. That's where black metal started. Now there are some tinges of it, and like Sodom, God, why can't I think of any other examples? Like, part of the other beginnings of like more aspects of black metal were in King Diamond too. But it's like traditional heavy metal, speed metal. The Corpse Paint is mostly what King Diamond stylized, or kind of helped popularize God. And then Venom coined the term black metal and kind of had the lyricism to go along with it, which is what a good 60-70% of black metal is Satanism. Some of it's genuine, some of it's just for shock. That's just how the genre goes. But that's all they did. They coined the term, and it coined a lot of what the lyricism is about. They did not make the genre. It started with Bathory with the self-titled EP, and that's it. That's as simple as it gets. Yeah, so this has been a top 10 list of what I consider my kind of disliked metal opinions. So fight me. And yeah, I think I should actually be getting a package from Sean soon, so expect a video from about that. I think I have some other things coming in the mail, maybe. And then this Black Friday, I'm going to go to a record store / bookshop with my uncle. So yeah, expect another video soon. I wouldn't say it's going to be as long as it's been, but you know me, I'm flaky. So later.